All right, for those that don't know who Jay Blow is that he's a fairly controversial software dev. It seems like his takes can be really hard, but there's a lot of things that I agree with him on, and there's a lot of things I don't. He's one of the funnest people, I think, to watch and discuss his ideas. So let's do that now.
You remember me saying something like, do you think Einstein believed in work-life balance in some giant bomb discussion video in which to talk about life balance? Well, it's not even that. It's like the concept of work-life balance assumes that you don't care about work and that work is not an important part of your life, okay? Because it's offsetting work versus life. And okay, if you have a job and you're not that interested in the actual work at the job and you're doing it to earn a living, which is a totally reasonable thing, then that concept makes sense. But if you're fortunate enough to have work that you really care about, then the idea of work-life balance ceases to, as it is popularly explained in current American culture, it really doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah. I can buy that. I can buy that argument. Which is, I definitely think there's a function. There's definitely like some sort of, continuous function of what you're doing and how much you love what you're doing versus how much time you're willing to put in, even hours that you don't get paid for. The amount of mental thought effort when you're sitting in a shower, I do think he's also right that we do have this weird, distinction that life is purely no work and work is purely no life. I think these are good takes. These are good initial takes. Thank you for calling me more educational than any of the TV science channels. Yes, that's because TV science channels are pop science. Pop science is stupid.
And so the problem that I have is that people who talk about work-life balance do not bring into the discussion this situation where work is actually good for you and enjoyable, right? And I think that warps the discussion terribly because you cease to see a lot of possibility that is open to you. You saw a tweet of John Carmack once saying he was never forced to work 80 to 90 hours per week. On the other hand, he said that he enjoys working 60 hours minimum because he wants to. Yes, and the thing that I would add as well, and I don't like to bring this up in discussions because it's talking about somebody else, and I don't really know how John C's life went, and I can't really say anything about it. But the way I think about it is like, look, he's a very famous programmer known for having accomplished really big stuff. Okay?
Just let him cook, people, okay? I'm very excited about what's about to happen here. All right.
Do you think that he would be the famous John Carmack if during the 1990s he clocked out at 5 p.m. every day and went to the nightclub or like whatever, right?
No. Absolutely not. I mean, I know there's a very fashionable opinion today. You see this everywhere, right? I guarantee you in this chat right now when I say this, if you disagree with me, I want you to say something. Okay? I want you to say something if you disagree with me. There's people in this chat that say that people who are intellectual workers can't exceed so many hours a day of working. Something like 5 hours a day is your maximum good, and if you're doing anything more than that, it's not really worth it. A lot of people would say that. I say that's bullshit. That's what I say. That's how I feel about the situation. I think that when properly motivated, of which I've been properly motivated many times in my lifetime, I don't think it's hard to work intense, thoughtful work for about 12 hours a day. But it's all about motivation. It's all about motivation. When you're at, here's a little story about my life. I've briefly brought this up from time to time. But when you live in an apartment and the person below you is smoking meth and have threatened to kill you on multiple times, you and your wife, don't you think you might work a touch harder and a touch more intense about things because of your situation where you feel like if you fail, you're going to be homeless? If you feel like if you're not going to be able to do things, like life is going to be ruined? Well, guess what? what? When I was properly super motivated, not only was I motivated by the person downstairs trying to kill me in my situation, I was also motivated because I liked what I was doing. I would program straight for 36 hours. I don't know. I can't do it. I literally cannot do that anymore. But when I was 25, I would sit and I'd program from 8 a.m. one day up until 10 p.m. the next night, just constantly going. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I could just be perpetually motivated to do it. And that has greatly, absolutely, completely changed the trajectory of my career. No, you can't call the cops on that because now it gets to he said, she said. You know what I mean? Oh, I didn't say that. Yeah, you did. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Now, I think you should program that much? No, I don't think you should. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's good for you. Don't do that. It was bad on me on my part. I had no self-control. I should have taken the time to sleep and properly do a nice 8 hours of sleeping every single night. I think that would have been a very good move on my behalf. I would have probably been a lot more, successful upstairs. This is your brain not sleeping. Like it would have been much, much, much better than me. But I was motivated by two factors, which is need and desire. And that just caused like a huge, huge, huge like influx into my life. I don't know. It was just interesting. I'm just saying that, I don't think this 5 hour, I think that humans are much more capable than they think they are. That's all I'm saying. I think that we can do a lot more, but we live in a world where there's virtually no needs and there's a lot of wants. And what I mean by no needs is that none of us probably in this chat, none of us are probably wondering when we will have our next meal. Real talk. I bet you there's nobody in this chat that has that feeling. That's a very different feeling, right? There's people today that feel that way. They're going to have a much different motivation than we are. Like they will fundamentally act different than we will. We have a lot of needs. How many people in this chat want some stupid Tesla or some car like that? Who here wants a Ferrari, right? That doesn't motivate you. You know what I mean? That doesn't make you, it doesn't make you any better. Wants don't do anything for you. Needs tend to drive. And when you start losing your needs, I feel like it starts changing your world a lot. And I feel like it's really easy to just feel really meaninglessness. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just thought. Anyways, let's keep on going on this.
No, he wouldn't be. Yeah. He wouldn't be the famous John Carmack. Yeah. Not only because he would have only gotten half the stuff done that he did, or less than half the stuff done that he did, but because he wouldn't be as good as he is, because putting in the hours is how you get good.
Dude, okay? Straight up. That's just such a... People hate that phrase, especially on Twitter. Twitter hates that phrase. If there's ever been something I've gotten more shit on Twitter for than saying the word work hard. We'll do it right now. We'll do it right now, and I bet you within a small period of time, some shitty thing will be said. Working hard is good. Tweet that. Capital letter and all. Boomer tweet. Let's go. Paste it. By the end of the day, I will have several people being like, well, actually, there's a caveat to that thing. Actually, the caveat is that corporations, and then it's just like, okay. I don't even know what the hell are we talking about at this point? All right, let's get back to this, okay? It always happens. You know it happens. You know it happens. Where's your asterisk? You need to describe everything.
Okay. So, like, this is also missing from these discussions of work-life balance. Like, okay, let me put it this way. People seem to understand that if you want to be in the Olympics as an Olympic class athlete,
I love this argument, by the way.
You have to train very heavily for many years when you're like a teenager because you have to be young to perform at high levels, right?
It's so much more than that people have no idea. My brother-in-law swam, got 6th place in Beijing, breaststroke. And dude, like what he had to do that is just like, it makes what I did nothing, right? Like when I hear his stories of like how hard you have to bust ass to be at that. It's just like, it's such a completely different world. It just feels different. And I think there's one thing that is a little bit different, which is that you are using your body. And I do think that using your body has a completely different experience than using your brain. Like, it is very different. And so you can't, busting ass is a lot different than busting brain. You know what I mean? It's just a different experience. I really have been enjoying my recent workout routine, which we talked about yesterday, where I've been, every single time I use the bathroom, I do 100 of something, except when I'm on stream. I didn't do 100 of something. I feel so much better. You know, using your body is a great thing. And so that's why I think this Olympic argument is both great and horrible, because it's just, you can't just use your body. You feel worse and worse. You can't just use your brain. It feels worse and worse and worse. Whereas if you use your brain and your body, it feels great. You know what I mean?
People understand that, but they somehow don't understand that the same thing is true for other disciplines, right? Look, if you want to be a world-class, if you want to be an Olympic programmer, you have to put in the training. That should be obvious, right? And it's not for some people. I don't know why. Like, you can't clock out at 5 every day and compete in the Olympics. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah. I'm on
Someone
that
saying
team.
you can like what you do and still want to clock.
I will say I'm a slightly bit offended by this line right here. If you can't see it, it says Sublime Project right here. Okay, I'm a little hurt right now seeing the word Sublime, but okay, we'll keep on going. I mean, I'm also hurt by the whole fact that it's Windows, but he's a game dev. Game devs love Windows, okay? It makes perfect sense. Not offended by that.
Clock out at 5. That's fine. That's totally cool. Like, if you enjoy working, 9 to 5 or whatever with a 3-hour lunch, and then you got some stuff done that day, and then you want to go to the movies or something, that's cool. I'm not objecting to that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if that's your life choice, just realize you're not going to be one of the best programmers. That's just how it is.
That seems completely reasonable.
And people want...
Does anybody disagree with that statement? Is there a singular... If type 1 in the chat if you think that what he said is wrong. I mean, there is the small possibility there is that exceptionally gifted individual that can literally look at anything and forever understand it. I'm not that person. I will just never be that person. But besides for that unicorn of a person floundering around on this world, so there are a few people that think that. No way. Dude, tell me. Okay, Mayor, why? How do you think that you can clock in 9 to 5 and be on Olympic level? You got to hit me. Hit me with some facts right now, because I have to know, because it just seems so implausible to me. One, I just wanted attention. Okay, that's no problem. But I am curious. If you believe that, help me understand. Do shit at home? Absolutely. I think you should do shit at home. Maybe she's born with it. She could be born with it. Absolutely. There is a person that can be born with it. I totally believe that. No, clearly not. Okay, Cool says it too. The Usain Bolt of programming, built differently, plus hard work. Absolutely. Absolutely. Usain Bolt would not be a famous person if he did not put in the hours, right? Yeah, I'm not saying only your job. He was making it very clear. You go in there, recuperation, 6 hours of intense as hell, 12 hours of rest, and 6 hours of needs and socializing. I don't think you will make it to an Olympic level programmer. Straight up with that. You missed what Mayor said. Oh, what did he say? Can somebody, what was it? It was a Mayor. Sorry. Can I click on it? Oh, I can't click on it. User a Mayor. There we go. Because I am curious. I'm trying to understand this. Consistency, though, can make you achieve great things without sacrificing. Absolutely. You could definitely get like single A baseball. For sure. I am fully on that team. For those that don't know, there's 3 levels of baseball in the professional world, right? There's single A, double A, and triple A. Triple A is like the majors, and then the other 2 are like minor/feeder leagues. And so the majors, obviously, not only are you practicing as hard or harder than anyone in the double A and single A, you also have a bit of gifting. So there's always going to be a gifting. I don't know if I have that gifting. I personally think it was just hard work that got me where I was. I don't think I'm somehow exceptionally smarter than anybody. I don't think I'm somehow a person that's like some sort of amazing individual intellectually. I'm not an intellectual powerhouse. I'm just a dude who tries really hard. Of course, it's an exaggeration. There's only so many, but I'm just saying I try really hard. On R&D, 9 to 5 is a construct I cannot. I cannot follow to be successful. Is a construct yeah, I get that too. 9 to 5 is kind of a weird thing. Why classify as Olympic? What exactly? I don't know. See, that's a hard part also. You had good education? Maybe. It really depends on a person. If every sprinter put in the same work as Usain Bolt, would they all be on his level? Probably not. Absolutely not. That's why I'm not saying. That's why I did say there's the caveat for the genius part, which I think there's geniuses. I think we could all agree that George Hotz, Geo Hotz, is probably smarter than me. Okay? The guy who made the inverse square root algorithm, probably just smarter than me. I'm getting sued by Sony. No, you're not. Is that real? But I mean, but real. Is that actually real? I'm just saying, I don't think, I think there's definitely like a mix there. Real talk. Have you heard about his rap? Oh, no, I haven't heard his rap. No, it's a Hots reference. Yeah. I think there's a mix here. There is definitely a mix. Don't you think work-life proponents are against hard work to achieve greatness, or just promoting general well-being? You did? Wow, Zombie Chew. Okay. Hey, respect to Zombie Chew. The problem with it is that there's a fundamental assumption that I see a lot in people, which is I shouldn't have to work hard to get what I want. That's what I feel like. That's how I feel when I see it. Is that I should have whatever nice lifestyle I want, but I shouldn't have to work hard. No one should have to work outside their work to gain status. That's how I hear it. I don't know what makes someone a genius. That's how I read it, is I shouldn't have to. No one thinks that. There's plenty of people that think that. You see it all over Twitter. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it extends to a lot of stuff. I'm just saying that's what I see. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. That's entitlement. Oh, there's definitely entitlement in it. But yes, there's definitely entitlement. I agree. That is entitlement. Work hard for yourself, not because your boss likes it or your company. I totally agree with that. I don't work hard because I want Netflix to love me. I work hard because I work hard for myself. I work hard because I must. I am pretty heavy into work life as someone who manages people. The way I structure work forces people to disregard personal life. The way I structure work forces people to disregard personal life. That is a failure. With that said, I work on a ton of side projects outside of office because I want to be great dev. My distinction is that what you choose versus what you are forced to do based on the way you work is structured. I can agree with that. So I guess it all depends on what you think work-life balance means and what do you think its ramifications are. Does that sound fair? The most talented programmers will always be faster than their colleagues right from the start and will have the rest of the day to gradually improve to reach. I do think this is also true. I think people that are just simply better can save more time. Absolutely. I worked from 9 to 5 once. They did not last more than a year. They were only a junior, and I thought they could be successful only working minimum and thought they could be successful. I do think it's very hard. If you only work at work and you do not do any dev outside of work, I think it's really hard to keep being a dev. I used to be, let's see. I used to be what some cloud describe as a gifted kid. Okay. I'm not anymore. I didn't lose it. I just became content. My ADHD hyperfocus helped me, but the recipe is simple. 8 hours of sleep, work out at least 30 minutes a day. The rest I work because I was highly motivated. Seems pretty good, right? I try to get 8 hours of sleep myself. I got 7.5 last night. I consider that par. That's good. And I do. I like working out. I think it goes even deeper. You need to define work. No, seriously, is work the passion in which you want to excel, or is it rather something to keep you and your people alive? That's a good point. These are all good points. I like these. Let's keep on going. I like what you guys are all saying, though. This is actually a good discussion. Who would have thought Twitch would have had any chance for a good discussion? Can we just be like real here for a second? I'm not gonna lie to you. Most of the time, you guys are just nothing but a bunch of dummies. Just nothing but a bunch of dummies in there. A 7 feet pack. I lost 8 feet. Give me your feet. Dance for me. You know.
I live in this this wishful thinking reality where like they can work 5 hours a day and also think they're one of the best programmers in the world, and that's just not how it works.
Yeah, I think everybody could agree with that.
It's not how it works. You think the difference is that nobody should force you to work more than 40 hours a week, but you shouldn't shame people for wanting to work more on their own projects to better themselves either. That is true, right? So again, I'm not justifying like crunch.
Okay, so this is actually, so I'd say that that's a solid take. So maybe we're misunderstanding. So when he says work, what this guy means by work is simply enhancing your skill or doing what is required. So 40 hours a week, doing that. But when you clock out, you don't clock out intellectually. You clock out physically. And I think that's a very, very, very meaningful distinction.
At game companies, I'm not justifying an employer telling you to work over the weekend if you like your job. That's not cool, okay?
That's good.
But these discussions that everybody likes to get mad about on the internet need to acknowledge that some people want to work a lot more than 40 hours a week, and those people are going to be the most successful people. That's just how it works. Because they're going to be, they're going to just get more done. So some people try to make this argument that you get more done at 35 hours than 60 hours.
I hate this argument, by the way. Well, I get more done at 35 than 60. I do. No, you don't. No. The only way that is true, okay, we're going in the hottest take of the day right now. The only way that is true is because you're not working out and eating healthy. That is my 100% belief. Your sleep sucks, you're not eating well, and you're not working out, and your body just simply cannot handle that much stress. Okay? Your body is that of a 75-year-old, and you cannot go further than 35 hours a week. Work out, eat, sleep. That will change your life. Jump stops get scholarships, okay? You just went through this. Alt F4, it's true though. Alt F4, tell me this is not true, Alt F4. If you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well, and you're not working out, tell me, how much did you start feeling horrible? I work about 60 to 65 hours a week on programming and programming things. Lately, Twitch is, since I've only been doing like React content and stuff like this, it's really gone down a lot. I've been working out again and drinking tons of water, and my posture is even better. Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Like, such small little things is crazy. Like, just work out and drink water and go to bed. Like, what? Don't take your phone into bed. That will just make such a change in your life. That alone will make such a change in your life. It's just like not even hard. Yes, drink water. It's like not even hard. Yeah, the big agree on the phone to bed. Phone to bed is the easiest way to rob your sleep. Right? What exactly do you use for an OS? What kind of where are you? We're not even close to that discussion. It's so true, it hurts. I'm not trying to be when guys drag on how much they work on TikTok. I don't know if I want to watch TikTok. I have kids. I can't use Arch. We already talked about this. It's not pleasant for me to work out. I hate working out. I'm going to be real with you guys. I hate every single moment of working out. From the first weight lift to the last one, I hate it. Every moment. And I do it 6 days a week. It has nothing to do with how I feel. I abstract how I feel versus what the hell I need to get done. You just have to. You have to. Because or else I would never do it because I hate it.
Hours, that's nonsense, okay? Like, that's true for people who don't care about their jobs. And you know, just need relaxation time or whatever. But if you really care a lot about your job, like if you really find it fulfilling, you would get more done at 60 hours than at 30 hours, right? So that's first of all.
I agree with that.
And secondly, again, the more time you put in, the better you are. And then again, there's the third difference, which is just if you're working for someone else's company, that's not the same as if you're working on your own projects, right?
Boom. Such a good take. I do think one thing that really sucks about our industry, the web world, is that the skill gap is not big. It's really not that big. Whereas with game programming, I feel like the skill gap is huge. So working more on a game, you do get better skills. Like you see more things. You have to solve more problems. I do think there is something there that makes, game dev is just insanely hard. Building a button is not that hard. Okay, I know you want to do server components, and I know you want to abstract all of your logic away, and if you keep on wrapping every last function in another function, eventually you'll never have to actually write code, and everything will just simply work first try. Well, guess what? It won't, because that's stupid. But still, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. It's not the same.
And so I'm not saying that you should work for someone else's company for like 80 hours a week if you want to be the best programmer.
I like that.
You could work for somebody else's company, you know, for the regular amount, whatever your regular work week is, part-time, full-time, whatever, and then go home and put the rest of the hours into your own thing. That's totally reasonable. I'm just saying that don't be too seduced by this rhetoric that everybody in the world should work a 30-hour week or whatever. Because first of all, it's not realistic because the people who don't do that are going to outcompete you, right?
Yep.
Secondly,
that's true.
It's not realistic because it ignores the fact that a lot.
That's actually a really good point he just brought up. I don't know if you caught it, but there's this fundamental problem about working the minimum, which is somebody else is willing to work more. And if you have it's one of the shitty parts about company culture. If everybody is a workaholic on your team but you, it really can be hard to survive on the minimum. Do you know what I mean? It's not viewed, I wouldn't say that it's viewed as a competition. I would say the hard part is that if your boss is looking out at the landscape and 9 out of 10 employees, whether your boss realizes it or not, they're doing 60 hours and you're doing 40 hours, I really do think that there's like this, there is going to be a perception. Doesn't matter if it's unfair. Perceptions do not care about fairness, right? You can make it illegal or culturally unacceptable. I think that's good. I do think it is culture. I think that is a really good thing to have on a team, to make it culturally ungood. And that is one thing at Netflix that they've, for the most part, have been really good. We have this saying, which is you should be able to get your job done in 40 hours. Meaning if you're working more than 40 hours, something's wrong. Something's wrong. It could be that you're overcommitted, but B, you might not be a right fit. Really, like if you're working a whole bunch just to get what everybody else gets done in a smaller amount of time, perhaps, maybe it's not like, maybe you're just not in the right position. And if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in 20 hours, you probably deserve a promotion, right? Like there's like this whole notion that there's this work expectation, and overworking is equally as bad of a sign as underworking, but the bad is different. It's much, much different. Oh, well, look at this. Well, thank you. Oh, that's very lovely. I can't really eat chicken wings or salad, though. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I love you, beautiful wife. You can just put it anywhere. Love you. Bye-bye. All right, let's watch more of this. Apparently, I'm supposed to press K. Okay, that sucked. Who told me to press K? Who said that?
A lot of people get meaning in life through work.
Spacebar.
Okay, and if you deny them that they should be working, you're denying them a significant portion of the meaning in their life. So
good take.
All of that should
That's interesting. Totally makes me rethink things, right? Just saying.
be part of the discussion, and it generally isn't, because the internet is stupid. Do I ever find working long hours negatively impacts my physical health? Not usually. Do I stay physically active? Yeah. I know. Maybe not as much as I used to, and
He's drinking green tea. We have those at Netflix. They're delicious.
not as much as I
Oolong,
maybe
baby.
should, but in general,
Oolong.
I'm fine. If you work 60 hours, you can't keep up with more than 20 hours next week. I don't think that's actually true.
Yeah, I don't think that's true either.
I think that's only true if you are burned out and don't enjoy what you're doing. Working 12 hours a day with any job or task is exhausting, though. Well, yeah,
I work 12 hours a day, or technically 11. I do 11 hours a day.
it is a little bit. It is a little bit, and then you catch up after several days and just work 8 or 9 hours that day and sleep extra. How does time...
I do it 5 days a week, but I completely disconnect on the weekends. Like I just close my eyes and never look. Never even think about it. Right? It feels really good. Good disconnecting. I do 11 hours, but you got to remember there's a few hours of Twitch/YouTube. I don't connect on the weekend. I barely even open up Twitter on the weekend. I just try not to do any of those things. Do I have personal projects? Yeah, a lot of them. Too many of them. I have an elephant graveyard of personal projects. But I get all my work done during the workday from 5 to 4 p.m. I work from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day at Netflix. 2 hours-ish on Twitch. An hour sometimes doing YouTube stuff. And then the rest of the time until about 4:30 at Netflix. Play with my kids, help out, do all that, work out, make sure I get an extra little workout in, then do all the stuff, read to the kids, yada, yada, yada. When I have extra project deadlines, such as the one I'm doing this Friday, Rust course, I will stay up from 7:40 till 9 something. Every day, yeah. I am well. I think that for me, that's fine. I'm a very high energy individual, and I work out, eat well, and get plenty of sleep.
Investment correlate with burnout? I think that's an individual thing. Burnout...
Oh, this is a big one because I have very high feelings about burnout. I think a lot of burnout comes down to misaligned expectations.
It's not just about time investment. It's about whether you succeeded or failed at what you were doing and whether what you were doing was worth the time investment. And that depends on individual cases. If you do what you love, you never get tired and only sleep because it's fun. I don't agree with that. You get tired. If you're using your brain really hard for many hours, that's actually tiring. But you don't get tired in the way of like, I just don't want to do this anymore. You're just like, oh man, I want to keep working on this, but I can't think very clearly right now, so I'm going to go rest. If you've never had, let me put it this way, if you don't frequently end up in that mental state that I just described of, wow, I want to keep doing this, but my brain is just too tired right now, then you're not actually working at the productivity level that you could, which may be fine if you don't want to be productive.
Oh, man, that's going to make Twitch chat angry. Hey, Twitch chat, how do you feel about that one? Let's go, Twitch chat. Oh, man, Twitch chat. That is the hottest take of them all. All right, we'll keep on going. Dude, that was a great take.
You think it's a lot about the working environment too. If you hate all your coworkers, you will be less productive. Well, that's probably true.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
probably true. Some people,
you're not really friends with your coworkers. Real talk, most of you aren't friends with your coworkers. You're friendly with your coworkers. I think there's a big difference, and I think sometimes people mix those two up. Though there are people that are actually friends, meaning that if you left the company, how many people remained your friend? And I think a lot of people mistake genuine relationships for work relationships. And I think that leads to a really sad, I think it hurts in here. You're always respectful. I'm always kind, respectful, and I try to help. I see them as I try to be friendly to them. You know what I mean? But I noticed that if I got fired, is anyone going to come hang out with me? No, they won't. No, they won't. Someone might reach out. How are you doing? And that would be probably the end of it.
Probably get that tired in 6 hours. Others could go for 12 hours or even more. There is definitely a variation. That is true. There's definitely a variation. But the part that is missing from the discussion, again, well, the part that's not, so people use that variation as an excuse. Like, oh, some people get tired after 6 hours and that's just me, so I'm only going to work 6 hours. It's like, no, that's just you not wanting to work more than 6 hours, right? Which is, again, fine, but you're just not going to be an Olympic athlete if you work for 6 hours, okay? And just accept that, right? The thing that's missing from the discussion...
Dude, that was a scorcher, right? That was such a scorcher. Holy cow.
Is, hey, maybe if you get tired after 6 hours, that's something you could train yourself up so that you only get tired after 10 hours later after a lot of training or whatever, right?
I do agree with that. I think we
this
can
idea that you could build...
I do think we could... I do think mental fogginess is definitely... There's some input there. Right? Like if I take a month break, if I go on vacation even for 2 weeks, I definitely come back and I definitely can't, like, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. It's different. It takes a little bit to ramp back up. There's definitely something about that.
Build the muscle or improve your competence at ability to be productive is missing. I guess it's present, but only in the stupid, cheap trick kind of way. Like, again, there's all sorts of like, oh, set a timer every 15 minutes and take a 30-second break or whatever the fuck. All these stupid things that people come up with.
He just shit on so many people. He just shit on so many people. I am not a Pomodoro timer kind of person. My break is when I have to pee. All right, when I do my little pee-pee break, I do a little bit of an exercise. Come back, refreshed, ready to rock. Dunking. You know what I mean? Dunking these nuts. All right.
Or just like, use spaced repetition to like memorize things and then you'll be able to program faster. Like whatever. Those things don't make any sense usually. And they're just excuses. Like, just train your muscles. Train your brain muscles and your psychological muscles to like do the job better. Just sit.
Just get better, Fivehead. This. Yes. I actually really do like this take in the sense that there's something really amazing about this take, okay? Just hold on with me for a second. And what I mean that there's something amazing about this take is that so much of how you experience the world, whatever that is, whatever that percentage is you psyching yourself up or psyching yourself down. Honestly, if you think that you cannot work more than 6 hours, it's just like, I don't believe in speaking things into existence, but you can most certainly psych yourself up and psych yourself down, right? If you're just like, I can't work past 6 hours. I can't do that. I can't do that. Well, guess what? You're just not going to do it. I had to believe in myself that I could do it. I still remember just writing nothing but stupid differential equations for 12, 16 hours straight. And it's because I truly believe that I could do it. And that helps fuel me. Now, sometimes I can't do it. Sometimes I fail, and that's perfectly fine. That doesn't change my fundamental belief that I will determine and push through any difficulty. Sometimes I fail. That's okay. That's part of life. Life is best done by failing and learning. But I will just straight crush it. 16 hours of straight DiffEQ. Yeah, I did that. You can ask my wife. My wife was there, and she said she can't even believe that I studied math, Calc 4, DiffEQ, from like 8 a.m. all the way into the midnight era. And they're like, she's just like, this is no way. How is this possible? Stop this right now. It was fantastic. I just get really motivated, you know? I just get really motivated. I gotta get in there, you know what I mean? And I just got so motivated to do the right thing that I believed I could do it. And there's plenty of things I failed on. So I'm just saying, I failed a bunch. And I didn't take, I didn't take any medication, by the way. There's no medication. None. This is just pure
your
determination.
butt in the chair and get better at doing the job, right? And nobody wants to hear that because that's actual work. They want to hear the get-rich-quick schemes of how to work better. And the get-rich-quick schemes are not, just as they always don't, they're not the way to go in this case, all right? Okay, I'm going to stop ranting about this topic because it's too much. Your greatest weakness in programming is procrastinating when you should just break through the wall.
I'm going to stop talking about it. It's too much. And here we go.
With your head. You know exactly what to do, but doing it would be uncomfortable. Yeah, that's a skill.
So that's actually, did you hear that? Let's redo that because I kind of interrupted it. This is actually a really great question/observation.
Quick schemes of how to work better. And the get-rich-quick schemes are not, just as they always don't, they're not the way to go in this case, all right? Okay, I'm going to stop ranting about this topic because it's too much. Your greatest weakness in programming is procrastinating when you should just break through the wall with your head. You know exactly what to do, but doing it would be uncomfortable. Yeah, that's a skill. Just knowing that you need to do that and just barreling forward and doing it is an actual job skill that you get better at, right?
You know how many people that I know, like multiple, we're talking a lot of people whisper me and ask me this exact thing. Like they're always just like, I feel like I get stuck and I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm like, yeah, I know. I did too. It was horrible. I just didn't stop. Don't stop. Like just because don't let some temporary something happen to you and you just go, okay, I got to give up. Like you don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. So much in life is hard. And so much requires you to push beyond what feels comfortable and even beyond what feels uncomfortable. You know? Please don't do that. You're stuck staring at my beautiful face, girl? Oh my goodness. Hey, you know. Hey, look at that beautiful head hair I got right there, okay? Hey, you know, this face right here, you know, it's a good-looking face, okay? Yeah, you thought it was bald back there. It's not bald. Filled with hair. Fresh hair, by the way, yeah.